Yeah, I wanted to mention about this World War III thing a lot of people have been talking about. It's not going to happen right away. The reason why is according to the Bible, there's other things that have to take place first. First, let's take a look at Matthew, the 24th chapter. And Jesus' disciples ask him, when will these things be? What will be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world, or the end of the age, the end of this system? And Jesus tells them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many will come in my name, saying, I am Christ. The word Christ there means anointed. And shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled. For all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. That's where we're living in, you know, this thing about against Syria and on with all the different countries there in the Middle East that they're going after. These are wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. Why not? Well, if we look in Daniel, the 12th, the 11th chapter, it also describes this time period we're living in here. And verse 40 of Daniel 11, it says, and in the time of the end, it doesn't mean, then when Daniel's saying that, the time of the end, he doesn't mean the time of revelation, but building up to that. You know, at that time, you consider that the time of the end. And at the time of the end, shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, with horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. You see, all these wars that are taking place, and rumors of wars, they're actually trying to conquer the whole world, to set up that new world order, and to gather all the kings of the earth together. That's why we're having so many of these wars, especially in the Middle East, you know. And what does it say there? It says, and he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. And verse 41, and he shall also enter into the glorious land, that's Israel, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom, that's the Esau's descendants, and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. Now these Moab and Ammon, they're two descendants of Lot, when he had that incestuous relationships with his daughters. Those were two of the nations that were born there. So they escaped. You know, and that's why this New World Order is having such a trouble over there in the Middle East. They can't seem to get those people under their thumb. Why? Because they're ancient countries. They've been dealing with this for thousands of years. And it's in them, you know. They've been taught that from their parents and their descendants. And they know what's going on. A lot of them. They don't want to be deceived by it, you know. Verse 42, he shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold, and of silver, and of all the precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. You know, so that's what's happening now. You know, all the wars, all these wars since World War II, you know, it has been against third world countries, you know, basically. And some people have said, well, that's the Third World War right there. It's against the third world, you know. And anyway, it's to get all the countries to get loyal to the NATO, or to the countries that are loyal to Israel, you know, because the United States actually is doing a lot of wars for Israel. The thing with Syria, they've been having problems with Israel for a long time. And Israel wants to rule that whole region over there. But they're having trouble with these few nations, you know, around Israel there, the east of the Jordan, where the country of Jordan is, and those descendants over there. And the Middle East doesn't want to give up all their power to Israel. They want to remain independent. But when they get when they declare peace and safety, could very well be when they finally say, well, we are ready to set up our new world order. But yet that new world order is not going to be the final new world order, because there are actually two. This is a little bit confusing maybe, but you really have to search the Bible and to read from all different angles and then make sense of it all, in Revelation, the 13th chapter, it says, talking about the beast, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. These are remnants from past kingdoms. If you read the book of Daniel, you see the leopard and the bear there. And his mouth was as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Of course, the dragon is that old serpent who's called the devil and Satan. We read that in chapter 12. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. So the beast changes. Reading Revelation, the 17th chapter, it makes it a little more clear, I think. Okay, it talks about the harlot in the beginning of the chapter 17. Upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now the word mystery, it refers to a secret, religious type of, if you look in Strong's Concordance, it will tell you that it's a secret religious initiation into some kind of secret religious thing. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great awe. It says admiration, but John didn't admire that harlot, And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast which thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is. So that's why I'm saying there's 2 new world orders. The beast is an 8th king, and it is of the 7. You see, verse 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and going to perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. They have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So this is the 8th king. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So the 7 kings are first 5 that have fallen, which would be Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece. And then the one that is, Rome. That was the 6th world power, which lasted really a long time, at least 1,500 years, And the 7th one, or the one, it says, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So the one we live in now, the Anglo-American world power, which the United States is the greatest power in the world right now, it will continue a short space, it says, compared to the Roman Empire. It's not going to last 1,500 years, you know. And the beast that was and is not, even he is even the eighth and is of the seventh and going to perdition. So this is the eighth kingdom, which is different than the seventh head. That's why we know that we're not living in that time right now of the New World Order, even though some speak as if we were. The New World Order, they're forming it, but it has not yet been formed. And when it is formed, it will become the eighth world power, because the United States and all of them will submit their power, give their power to the beast, that New World Order. But this is not the final thing of the New World Order. To me, it seems like this is more going to be like the seventh head is going to rule this New World Order and be counted as like the head of it, more like a Masonic, you know. But the real New World Order is the anti-kingdom of Antichrist, where the Jews will rule from Jerusalem. And they know that this seventh head has to receive a sword stroke, a wound, you know, and which speaks of world war. When I say world war, I'm speaking of the signs Jesus gave. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes, pestilences, and famines in places. So that nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom is going to happen in order to receive that sword stroke to make that New World Order stop. Is not. It will be as if it was not, and then it will be reemerge as that Antichrist kingdom. And so there's a lot of things that have to happen, but the nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom, that might likely be the same as what delivers the sword stroke to the seventh head, you know. And then is when they're going to have to say peace and safety, you know, because when they first established their New World Order, or when let's get to the heavens, when the devil is cast out of heaven in Revelation the 12th chapter, the first thing that happens after there's war in heaven, you see verse 7, there's war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. It was prevailed not, neither was there any more place found for them in heaven. So that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, now is come the salvation, the strength, and the kingdom of our God. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, who accuses them before our God day and night. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Rejoice therefore, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. This is the heavens are clean, the new heavens. The devil is cast out, never to return. But in verse 12 there, it says, but woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows he has but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Now this woman is the same spoken of in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, verse 15 and 16, where God says, I will put enmity between you and the serpent, between your seed and his seed. And he will bruise you in the heel, but you will bruise him in the head. That's the fatal wound of the devil. And Christ had the heel wound when he was crucified, or when he was impaled on the stake. But the head wound to the devil is coming. I'm going to turn this off so I can continue it.